On a right, as you must already know.
Rebecca Gales.
Gales.
Kirk Plays, welcome. Hope you're doing well. The name is familiar, like a fond memory. I recall a kind lady, a private tutor, who treated me like her own daughter when I was young. She'd even bring me food when there was no need to do so. Usually stovies, which, honestly, I hadn't been too keen about, though I ate them nonetheless, because she brought them.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
Oh, she knows.
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way. But yeah, that's me.
Little Becky.
We met once before.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses! And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A. What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele.
Was it still
Albert,
Ash?
Alexander. Andrew?
The more I list off names, the more red and more quiet Becky gets. She starts to look more miserable as her body language shows discomfort and stiffness. Pressing triggered a horrid childhood memory. Surely I hadn't been mean when she just visited with her mother. I don't remember at all.
Ashton! Ash!
That
Man is that boy! The same one. Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone with an earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
And a tad bit sad.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right? You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it. But what do I know?
There's a grimace, although she starts to relax around my presence. How long has it been since we met as children? Certainly a long time. Desmond Pyro, welcome. She was tiny back then, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what? 20 years?
17, actually. But no, not yet. He can be a bit
17 years and you haven't said anything? Holy shit, girl.
I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
Well, that won't do. What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I? Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway. There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans. It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then.
We're definitely playing real estate horror chat.
I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my... crush.
I do remember now that she mentions it. Did I give her that yellow summer dress with the pink blouse and petticoat? She must have kept some of what I said in mind. It was ridiculous remembering all the years later talking about boys and how they go crazy for pretty girls, but as if it's some gospel every woman should adhere to. It was so easy to say such things with me not knowing any better. Though, looking at her now, she must have kept some of what I said in mind. Words. Perhaps I did say something good at that time, good enough for her to take to heart. But all that didn't matter in the moment as I mull over what she just said in my head. What Becky told me is very different from what Marianne told me. There's no time to ponder over that, however, as a hush descends upon a once lively crowd. The music of strings and chatter slows to a grinding halt as the doors of the foyer opens. The last of the latecomers should have arrived moments ago. Anyone this late would simply be too embarrassed to show their face. So this can only be one person, or rather one man. There's only one man who is audacious enough to arrive to his own party so
Good
late.
evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party. I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the Wright Mansion.
Unlike I, who was raised in the spotlight and grew used to its presence, he sought out every chance he could, even when there's no spotlight that shone. And they'll never put it against him when he smiles like that. He did so quite brilliantly under the scrutiny when she channels his showmanship. You can tell by the way his eyes, the people's eyes light up as he speaks. How they listen, enraptured, even if all he's doing is a simple greeting. A little wave of his hand, a little smile there, and a bit of swagger. I always tell him that if he is not to be a businessman, he'll do well as an entertainer. I love the sight of him, especially when he looks at me, and he beckons me over to humbly share his place. Not a single second is wasted as I excuse myself from Becky's side to make my way over to Luke's.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
There's a round of applause, cheers, and even some hoots. That's fucking weird. Guests approaches left and right to shake Luke's hand, greeting personally. Praises on their lips. It's because of this that I do not see her. I did not see her until she's dangerously close, with fury in her eyes, and she's already spitting venom. Johannes restrains her, taking care not to unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. Oh. Oh, chat. But that does little to deter her rage. The man has no choice but to let her go, lest an unborn child is hurt. Although it might be too late for us to see, I see an emptied glass of wine in her hand. How much has she imbibed it?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you munter! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here!
Oh, chat. It's a visual novel about a lot of different people. All of them tied together with this house.
You bloody bastard, standing there with your smarmy smile!
And most importantly, a chain letter. She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Even as whispers and murmurs have broken out amongst the guests, all I can focus on is the heat of the moment. Obviously intoxicated, judging by the smell of alcohol on her breath. I'm not even ticked off about this little display of hers, at least not yet. I'm absolutely pissed by the fact she'd endanger her own baby by drinking. There's a considerable amount of restraint and grace that I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep a patient, if tight, smile on my face. Luke's expression, on the other hand, is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir.
Thanks, Luke.
What is even going on?
Just as I'm about to ask the same exact
I don't
thing.
know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Chat.
Where is that husband of yours?
Is it Luke's kid?
Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass! You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens!
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Crazy talk. That's all it is. Just completely and utterly mad.
Oh,
Has
Luke.
anyone seen the chief inspector?
I am pregnant!
Oh!
You little bastard! You promised me you'll take responsibility. God damn it, Luke! I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me!
But... What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman!
Hold on, there's gotta be a way I can rehear that line. That was good. Backlog. Can I hear that again?
Lies and slander, woman!
That's a great line. This voice actor really tried, guys.
Security! Johannes, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me! I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants
Yeah,
a
such
baby?
a scandal for sure.
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
It is just now that Johannes has returned with security along with the concerned-looking Officer Lee. They surround her and move to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, he's heard the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man. Not that I believe Rochelle. Luke would never go so far to sleep with another woman, right? So, I'm calling that he slept with McCulloch, and I guess he slept with her too.
I'm so sorry for her behavior. She's been under a lot of
dude.
stress. And the alcohol.
I think big by Dr. Ben Carson, former brain surgery and current United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Oops.
Talking nonsense, that's all it is. You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Is there really nothing here but the ramblings of a drunk? Of course there's nothing but ramblings of a drunk. She's just jealous. Jealous of this wonderful marriage. This happily ever after I have with my
Take
prince.
that troll up out of here immediately, and see to it that she isn't allowed here or anywhere we hold any authority in Luxbourne.
To be banned from anything with the right name on it is basically social suicide. We practically own half of Luxbourne, and there's a single establishment of repute that is under our patronage one way or another. This is mercy. I can do worse to her. At least this way, she can move out of the city and never, ever return. I've stayed my hand in the face of her grievous fault, her bold-faced lies, when she deserves so much more, except for I don't think she's lying. I can take away her business, have her factory shut down. It's too easy to ruin her life until she's just nothing. And it is all so tempting. I can only see red. The tension is thick in the air, and the silence that embraces the room is nearly deafening. They're worried, and almost fearful glances at some of the guests, yet at the same time I can still hear them whispering. But as long as they hold their tongues and don't interfere, none of these matter to me. Especially my darling looks at me with a different shine in his eyes. It seems as if he's proud of what I've done. That spurs me on more than
Everyone,
anything.
please go back to enjoying the party. Don't let that mess of a woman ruin your night.
Got it. She was really good friends with Rochelle.
You heard her. Strike up the band, maestro, and let us dance like fireflies in the night.
It takes a bit for the crowd to stir again in the face of all that, but like the problem of the elite, it is brushed under the rug and forgotten in favor of merriment. Too real, Chad. He offers his hand to me with a small smirk and a bow.
That was a mess, wasn't it? And you handled it magnificently.
It happens. We are very important people, are we not?
Milady, would you like to dance?
With pleasure, my prince.
No one is going to get in between me and my darling husband, not Rochelle or any other rich, snooty scrubber. Not some common whore or an ambitious maid. No one is going to get near him in that manner, not while I'm around. And if I have to say about it, no one is going to get near him at all. Fuck Chet. The day after proved to be a difficult task. Yeah, hold on. What day are we on? Okay, so today is now the 29th. My darling prince is a man of many connections, a man of the people. He is always talking to one person or another. I'm always left alone, unable to be at his side at all times. It is frustrating, but I have to be understanding. Besides, I don't see why he can't just stay at home. The least I can do is make sure that I have his time while he's here, which in and of itself isn't as easy as it sounds. Not with that bloody valet of his tailing him around. It's 10/7? No, it's not. It's the 29th. Because this was yesterday. Yeah.
Johans, where's my tie? I can't find it anywhere.
Have you looked around your neck? It should be there if it's not on your clothes horse, sir.
It isn't often that I'm awake this early, at least enough to find my darling preparing for the day with his valet attending to him. It's an old-fashioned way to go about the morning. He is able to dress himself, after all, but he's always said it really makes the day easier for him to have someone else do this tedious task, albeit with a grimace. Though, if that manservant of his dislikes the duty so much, I'd gladly do it
I've got
instead.
it, my prince. Come here.
Well, someone's up and at them especially early this morning, huh? Here I thought you'd be knackered by all the dancing we did last night at the party. And after that, well.
A saucy little wink and a smile is what he offers me as I draw close to fix his tie. And when the valet reaches out with his perfume, I quickly take it and shoo him aside. This close, his scent fills me with the smell of white flowers, cocoa, cardamom, and almonds. It is intoxicating, and the sight of the two of us with the vanity mirror is picturesque and perfect. Can I help it if I feel a bit resentful that another person gets to do this for Luke every morning when I could have done it myself? No, I can't.
You're dismissed, Shroken. I have this. Go on then. You'll be summoned if you're needed.
There's a curious look, furrowed brows, before any sign that he carries his white from his expression.
Very well. If you need me, I'll be somewhere that isn't here.
You could have let the man do his job.
And I say there's no need for him. I can take care of you just fine, my prince. Just where are you off to this morning anyway?
I hate the thought of him leaving me. It feels like an eternity without him here in this lonely place that doesn't feel quite like home yet. Although the mansion is really growing on me, slowly but steadily. I want to be by his side, yet he fails to see such an obvious
Business.
thing.
Where else?
Why can't you just work from home? You can afford to, can't you?
What day is it? Saturday.
Business needs a firm hand and a personal touch, Buttercup. Besides, I can't stay cooped up forever in here. I'll go mad.
Well, you'll come back home as soon as possible, won't you? It's so awfully lonely here without you, my prince.
I could. I don't see why I should, though. This hasn't been a problem before. You know I'll come home when I come home.
Just get home as soon as you can. For me, won't you?
No promises. It's business after all. I can't just stand up in the middle of the meeting and tell them the wife wants me home.
Then forget those peasants.
He stops and stares, looking perturbed for a moment before shaking his head. Is he feeling ill? That's more reason for him to stay here with me, doesn't it? She went from, like, being freaked out with him and, like, thinking about divorce to suddenly he needs to be here. Chet, is she being, like, possessed or some shit?
Be good, dear, and stay safe. There's been all sorts of dodgy characters seen about the property.
Pregnancy? Oh, yeah, we do think she's pregnant. That's real.
I'll be leaving Johans with you, just in case you need
Totally
anything,
forgot about that.
and to be on the safe side, okay?
But I don't need a valet. I need you here with me.
I'll be closing a big deal with a pharmaceutical company soon, if things go according to plan. Maybe, after that, I can take a breather for a bit.
No maybes. You have to promise me.
I only need him.
I'm going to be late, Hannah. The longer this takes, the later I'll get home.
Fine. Shall I see you out?
If that's what you want.
At the front door, his valet waits, ready to accompany him for the rest of the day when he's told to stay and attend to me. I still don't like it. Looks like he doesn't either. But I ignore him in favor of the one who really matters. I hold Luke's hand in mine and give him a deep kiss. It makes my heart flutter as I see the way his eyes close during our moments of passion. Parting for air, I can only smile.
Have a good day, my prince.
Right. Off I go.
I still don't want him to leave. He should stay. Forever.
If you could let go of my hand, please, Hannah.
It's just so hard to let him go when I finally have him in my grasp. Watch him enter his car and leave pains me so. It leaves me behind an aching hole, like hunger and a need. I'm not content until he returns.
If it fits you, breakfast is ready in the parlor, madam.
If anything, I'll be in a foul mood until he
Leave and
returns.
go practice your bloody sodomy elsewhere.
Peculiar.
I turn around and hiss at him. He's already gone, and that suits me fine. I want to be alone without anyone bothering me. I want to be alone with myself and my thoughts, with only these halls as company. These damned halls which will hold our memories, just he and I. There's no one else I need but my prince, not some cheeky servant who's just living it up because he's Luke's right-hand man. Rubbish like him deserves nothing. He deserves to be thrown out and locked in the attic. Without realizing it, my feet had brought me here. This empty, lifeless room disgusts me. The longer I stare at it, the harder it gets to breathe, as if the walls are moving in on me. Yet at the same time, it pulls me in. I hear a whispering, and curiosity gets the better of me as I look under the bed. There in the far corner, a loose floorboard. The wood, despite having swelled and warped over the years, is strangely familiar, comforting in its feel. Yeah, she's gotta be possessed, or some shit. Like, I'm calling it. That's not merely what my hand searches for as I reach for it. It takes quite an effort, but soon I'm able to lift it. And inside, underneath the dust and cobwebs, lies a pendant, warm and familiar. And I swear if I close my eyes, I can feel it beating in my palm. I feel a thrill, though. I also feel like a thief for taking this, but it's mine. So without delay, I hide in our room. In front of the vanity, I see the ways my eyes shine as I remove the clasp of my old necklace and put on this new one. It fits a lot better than the old one. I can feel it as it weighs on my chest.
Right where it belongs.
That's a little change. The pleasant aroma hits me long before I cross the threshold. Faint, but warm, a reminder of what home is. No one's died. Yeah, how have I not killed anyone yet? I've been trying, too. Pa's stern but commending gaze, Ma's tender smiles, the sunlight filtering through the eaves in the morning, and the distinct smell of cinnamon and vanilla as it drifts through the air every time something cooks from the room. The room, our room, Ma and Pa's pride and joy. My sister and I too, eventually. But we ain't allowed there. Not yet. Not until we're taller or older. Not until we've learned how to take care of ourselves and not burn our hands and reach the cupboards without having to be
Well, a
lifted.
little peek wouldn't hurt, yeah?
The floorboards are cold under my feet, more than usually is. The wall's more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Ma's singing ceases and Pa.
Please wait. I'll be good. I'll sleep on time. Don't go.
I can't hear Pa. Not above the raucous clanging and deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There's only the blinding fear. When my foot slips, the red sea that catches me is bitter and frigid, but the blood that drips in my hand is warm, warm, warm. It ain't my blood. The walls tumble and everything goes quiet. Jesus. Okay.